even better. That's even better. Tonight, Game 4 of the Patrick Division semifinals. The New Jersey Devils are in the lead, 2-1 in this best-of-7 series. Good evening, everybody. Mike Foran, your play-by-play host, along with Al Koken. The Capitals finding themselves with what could be a final game here in this building unless they get things turned around. But they feel there's lots of hockey left. They feel that a win tonight would put them right back on an even keel, and certainly it would do that heading back to New Jersey for Game 5 should the Capitals win tonight.
Well, it's going to be interesting. I think the Capitals, I said earlier that the Capitals will win tonight, and it's going to come down to the winner of Game 5, and it'll be the first time in a long time the Capitals have had a fifth game of a 7-game series played on the road. Usually they're played here, and in every series the Capitals have lost, they have lost that fifth game. Conversely, they've won the fifth game before, they win a series. So it's an interesting proposition, and that's why I think that fifth game is going to be key. But, of course, let's not get ahead of ourselves. Make sure they win that fourth game. But I think the Caps have shown all through the regular season when their backs are to the wall, they play their best hockey, and that's why I think they're going to come up with a victory tonight.
Okay, let's check in now with Jeff Rimmer. He's standing by with Capitals coach Terry Murray.
Thanks, Mike. Terry, we've been here before. A must-win situation for the Washington Capitals.
It is, Jeff. There's a sense of urgency in the dressing room tonight. You know, we can't go back into New Jersey down 3-1. It's you're just putting yourself in a big hole, and it's very difficult to dig yourself out if you do that. We've got to do some better things offensively, Jeff. We shut them down defensively and played very responsible, but still in the offensive zone. We're not shooting the puck. We're not going to the net well enough in order to create some problems for the goaltender.
Good practice yesterday. I know that the players had a good feeling about tonight's fourth game.
Everybody feels good about the way we're playing in most areas, with the exception of putting the puck in the net. We have Dino Ciccarelli doing that, and we're not spreading it around. I want some other people to really step forward here tonight and contribute.
What kind of changes can we look for tonight?
Well, change-wise, I'm putting Donnie Beaupre in goal, and certainly it's not because of the way Mike Liut has played. He's played very well. I'm trying to make a change, maybe for the sake of a change here psychologically, and see what happens to the rest of the players on the team.
How about changing up the lines?
I'm going to make some changes on the lines, Jeff. I'm trying to put together some combinations that were successful for us in the past. Portnoy, Hunter, and Tucker are going back together. They were successful at the end of January and played very well. I'm putting Kelly Miller, Ridley, and Dino Ciccarelli. They've been, at times, very, very good for us this year. Bob Joyce with Pivanka and Stephen Leach are going back together. And Alan May on the left side with Berglund and John Bruce on the right side. A fourth line who can create a little havoc, I hope.
Well, good luck tonight. Let's hope the Capitals can even up the series and then make it a best of 3.
Thank you, Jeff.
Caps coach Terry Murray back upstairs.
All right, Jeff, thanks very much. The Capitals coming onto the ice surface right now, along with the New Jersey Devils preparing for the start of tonight's game. The Devils have to make some changes in their lineup. Pat Conacher's out with an injured knee. What's going to happen to that Devil lineup?
Well, they will bring Mark Johnson in for his first playoff action so far, but they've got some guys who are going real well right now, and maybe one of the surprises for people who haven't been following the Devils very closely has been the overall excellent play of Brendan Shanahan. But you talk to people in the New Jersey organization and people who have seen him play all year, and they'll tell you this is the type of play that Shanahan has featured. He has been aggressive. He's scoring some pretty goals. That deflection was an excellent example of just the type of touch Brendan Shanahan is displaying around the net. He is a big guy. He's a physical guy. He is doing so many different things for the New Jersey Devils, and he has become a main factor in this series so far. Now, we talk about Mark Johnson. Here's a guy with plenty of playoff experience, 35 overall career playoff games, and just as recently as 1988, when the Devils went through that tremendous run through the Patrick Division and into the Wales Conference Finals against Boston, Mark Johnson was a hot man during that series. He had 10 goals in those 20 playoff games that the Devils played, but he has been buried right now because the rise of Pat Conacher and the rise of John Morris. But I think this gives you an idea of why the Devils are favored in this series and why people think they can go a long way. This is the type of depth. You lose a Conacher, you bring in a valuable veteran like Mark Johnson.
Dino Ciccarelli has done plenty for the Washington Capitals in the playoffs thus far. Who else needs to get going?
Well, you know, you can point to a number of players, but I think right now the two key players for the Capitals to get their offense going is Jeff Portnoy. He has got to start getting his shots on goal. First of all, just get him going. If he gets one, his confidence will be boosted. He's similar to Ciccarelli. When he gets that first one, he really responds with a number right after that. And, of course, Michael Pivanka. Pivanka certainly has been flip-flop between center and left wing. That may have had some effect on him, but he simply needs to shoot more. Terry Murray says he's got a great wrist shot. Just start shooting the puck.
Let's turn things over now to public address announcer Marv Brooks.
Join Glenn Cunningham in singing our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets let the bombs bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and love of the brave?
Rob Schick will be refereeing tonight's game. The linesmen are Wayne Bonney and Jerry Pateman. Now a look at the starting goaltenders for this evening's contest. The Devils go again to Sean Burke, 0-1. In one game, he went overtime, 66 minutes, 5 goals against. That works out to a 4.55 average, and Chris Terreri will back him up. For Washington, once again, it is Don Beaupre. Beaupre 0-1 in 39 minutes in the lone appearance he had in the playoffs so far, which was in relief of Mike Liut. He allowed 3 goals against for a 4.62 average. Mike Liut is the backup for this contest this evening. All set to go at center ice. The Caps take the opening draw, and Ridley brings it back inside the Washington zone, where Langway takes charge in behind Beaupre in the Washington net. Ciccarelli skates by but leaves the puck, and Langway brings it out to Hatcher. Now up the board. Ciccarelli across the blue line, walking in. Feeds to Miller, back to Ciccarelli. Can't get a shot off. Now it's cleared out of the zone, but hits a stick that was lying on the ice and is left right in neutral territory. John Morris across the blue line, walking into the Washington zone, flips to the area behind the goal. And here is Langway backing it up now to Ciccarelli. He's pinned by McLean. Now it's tie up in the corner. Morris to the point. Belichick tries to keep it in, and here's Langway poking it out to Ridley. And as Ridley backs up into his own zone, both teams change lines promptly. Ridley across the blue line. Inside the New Jersey zone. Has it taken away, and back comes the Devils defenseman Ken Danico, who has 2 goals already in this series. Work free by Bob Rouse. Rouse over to Scott Stevens. Leads it ahead to Steve Leach. Leach gets across the blue line. Into the corner. Held up by Belichick on the play. Belichick pushing Leach along in the corner, and Leach brings it out to Bob Joyce. His quick shot stopped by Burke, and Burke reaches out to his right now and covers up, and play is called.
Maybe a few people surprised that Sean Burke gets the nod after Chris Terreri performed so well the other night. No question, John Cunniff wanted to get Sean Burke hot and get him as the #1 goaltender. He didn't have a strong first game. Terreri then came in and at least won game 2, which got him the start in game 3, but Cunniff may feel he has just a bit of a luxury by winning the 3rd game here the other night. If he can get Sean Burke going, and if Sean Burke can become the difference in winning this contest, then he knows he has got 2 strong goaltenders for however far the Devils go in the playoffs. Because I think if they win tonight, they're going to move on.
Here's Stastny to lean in to work the face-off now to the right of Burke. Hunter gets a stick on it, but it's taken to the backboards for Kasatonov of New Jersey. Alexei Kasatonov out to center ice. Courtnall tapped to 3, and now Stevens is back into his own end. Up the right wing side for Courtnall. Tucker back to chase it. John Tucker brings the puck ahead. Courtnall to his own line. Now to center. Courtnall winds. Long slap shot is up off the glass. Jeff Courtnall has to shoot the puck on goal, and there, a dump-in play, but it would have been a lot more had it been on the net. Here's Tucker trying to center. It comes back to Stevens. His shot's deflected. It goes up high off the glass. Now Hunter again back to the point. Stevens to the side of the goal. And Tucker has it taken off his stick by Fetisov. And he brings it ahead to Sundstrom at center ice. In across the line now to Stastny. Peter Stastny. Knocked away by the high stick of Tucker and played up the boards. Here's Courtnall recovering. Back to John Tucker after a devil had touched it, so no whistle. The puck played back inside the New Jersey zone. Fetisov is there. Icing is the call against the Washington Capitals.
Well, the Capitals certainly have done their best in the entire series to run that man, Slava Fetisov, and his partner, Alexei Kasatonov. Usovic showed a lot of grit and bouncing back. Terry Murray, though, knows he needs to continue to get that deep forechecking pressure. The Capitals did a lot of hitting in Game 3, a lot of strong hitting, but the one thing Terry was kind of unhappy about was the fact that he didn't get a lot of good deep hitting at the goal line and behind the net. Most of the hitting was up the ice along the boards and in towards the middle. He feels the Capitals need to get down there and establish that forechecking game, create the type of hits that force turnovers and scoring chances.
Here comes Sheehy, drags the puck back inside the New Jersey zone, and now Weinrich to get it. Sent rink wide and over now to Bob Brook. Brook, who is scoreless in the series, back to center ice. Sheehy takes over for Washington. Dumps it back inside the Devils zone, and Weinrich collects behind the net. Eric Weinrich. Out to center ice. Berglund gets a stick on it. Now Brook recovers. Tosses to Weinrich, and he throws it back inside the Washington zone. Here is John Druce. Up to Rod Langlois. Over to Alan May. Throws it back inside the Devils zone. This will be an icing call as Driver's there to pick it up, and the faceoff comes back to the Washington end with 16:40 to play here in the first period.
Hoping you'd say that.
Cold filtered, never heat pasteurized. Miller Genuine Draft. For those who discovered its real draft taste, the world is a very cool place.
This face-off will be in the Capital end to the left of Don Beaupre. Mike Ridley, who's playing tonight between Ciccarelli and Kelly Miller, goes against John Morris.
Here's Ridley, hooked on the play. There's going to be a penalty call to Morris of New Jersey, and Washington will have the game's first power play opportunity. Time of the call, 3:25 of the first period. Morris for hooking.
Well, this play comes right off the face-off. Morris and Ridley, the two men battling on the draw, and once the puck squirted free, Mike Ridley making a move for it. John Morris got the stick in there, hooked him to the ice. You see Ridley starting to come up back towards that puck. There's the blade of the stick in his side and pulled down. The Capitals certainly need to get the power play going in general, but it would be a big lift if it was a guy like Pavanka or Ridley or Courtnall to get this power play goal. It serves two purposes.
So far in the series, Washington with 3 power play goals out of 19 opportunities. That works out to 16%. And the Devils have killed off 16 of 19, 84%. Face-off drawn back now to Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher is on with Johansson. Pavanka up front. Here comes Hatcher to the blue line. Flips to the fence. Pavanka fires a shot, and it's way up high off the glass. Now back into the corner. Here's Sundstrom to try and dig it free. The puck cleared out to center ice. Johansson chases it, just about lost his helmet, jumping in the air to try and bring that puck back to ice level. He gives to Hatcher. McLean is into forecheck. And the Capitals slowed up a bit as they start the rush. Now it comes to Ridley at the blue line. Here's Mike Ridley into the corner. Johansson works it free. Sent behind the goal over to Ciccarelli. Now back to Johansson. Here's Ridley. Back to Pavanka. Over to Mike Ridley. Again in the corner. The Devils have 2 players right on them. Pavanka tries to work it free and is hooked on the play. Still skating loose with the puck. Now it centers it. It comes to Ciccarelli. Off Pavanka's stick. It goes wide. Pavanka flipping back to the corner for Mike Ridley. Wrigley for Washington. Cicerelli being held in front of the goal. Brings it back to the corner for Pavanka. Back to Johansson. His slap shot blocked, but kept inside the zone. Cicerelli jumped to the ice in front of the net. Here's a penalty call for interference now against New Jersey, as Cicerelli was spilled right in front of the Devil goal, and Washington now will have a two-man advantage on the power play.
And Mike, I think it's on that man, Sean Burke. He's the man who came out and racked Cicerelli from behind. And the Devils are going to have to put one of their top penalty killers in the box. There's that pop, and you see Dino Cicerelli was outside of the crease when Burke came out after him. Let's see if this is the sort of thing that rattles Sean Burke. If the Capitals can nail him now, and they've got a 5-on-3 advantage, they can pump one, maybe two by him on the power play. Could certainly get his mind spinning. Take one more look at it. You see where Cicerelli's set up. He is not in the crease, and Sean Burke gets him from behind. Cicerelli certainly adds a little to it to make sure. Rob Schick calls it, and the Caps with a great opportunity to take early control of this hockey game.
Burke is no stranger to that sort of activity. During the regular season, he took 38 minutes in penalties.
Of course, I think most of those came in that crazy fight he had with Mark LaForest. And John McLean will serve the penalty for Burke. We say if it's a penalty on a goaltender, one of the skaters that was on the ice at that time has to go in the box. So it's 5-on-3 hockey for the Capitals. Sundstrom out there with Kasatonov and Fetisov. Hunter, Cicerelli, Courtnall, Stevens, and Hatcher work for the Capitals.
Cicerelli reaches for it, but the Devils take possession right from the faceoff now, and Kasatonov lobs it back into the Washington zone. Still 30 seconds left in the two-man advantage. And here comes Stevens, ahead to Courtnall. He's across the blue line. Poke loose at the point, taken back to center again for Scott Stevens. Left side, Dale Hunter. Hunter over to Stevens. Side of the net, Cicerelli, a shot. Off the side of the goal, it goes wide. Burke may have got his stick on that. Now back to the point for Stevens. Stevens walking in to the point man, Hatcher. Feeds it over to Cicerelli. Back to Hatcher. Takes the shot. Gives to Stevens. Back to Hatcher. Now Cicerelli held at bay. To Hatcher. Penalty about to expire. Morris is back on the ice. And the Caps handle the puck and can't get around the three Devil players. Here's a blast. Kicked aside. Hunter centers it. But it's cleared out of the zone by Morris. And now New Jersey has a minute and 3 seconds remaining on the penalty call to Burke, being served by McLean. The Bluebirds are out already here in the Capitol Center, booing the Washington players for their ineffectiveness with that two-man advantage.
Gets the idea of why home ice is absolutely no advantage sometimes. I mean, early in the hockey game, and this crowd is already against you.
Here's Hatcher back in his own zone. Only 40 seconds left in the McLean penalty. Leads it ahead to center ice. To Ridley. Gets across the line. Courtnall. Hooked as he crosses the blue line, but nothing called. And the Devils clear it out to Brown. Right side now for Brook. Fires a shot. That just zips wide of Beaupre on the Washington net. Now back to center ice. Danico back in his own zone. Off the boards and clears it all the way down the ice. And here's Beaupre leaving it for Rouse. 10 seconds left to go in the penalty call as McLean's ready to come out. Have one last rush, but Johansson is offside at the New Jersey line.
Well, the Capitals had a couple of chances. The best one for Dino Cicerelli. He tried to get Sean Burke to bolt to his right and then stop at the last second and put the puck at the spot that Burke vacated. But you got a big goaltender in Sean Burke, and even when he does start to make the move, he leaves a lot of his body behind. Now watch, Cicerelli starts to make that move, but you see how Burke keeps that left pad and skate over there and not really giving Cicerelli the opening he expected. And Dino just kisses it just a little bit off that post and off the side of the net. But the Capitals didn't get anything done, and the New Jersey Devils were magnificent. They stayed in that little triangle defense on that 5-on-3, and all the Caps did was completely pass on the perimeter. Got nothing down along the goalpost, which you have to do at 5-on-3.
Here's Muller to chase the puck. Langway gets there first, and it's icing. And the faceoff reverts now to the Devils zone with 13:10 remaining in the first period. Washington with all 3 of the shots on goal in this contest. The Devils have yet to record anything on Don Beaupre, but remember, the Game 3, the Devils' shots were certainly kept at a bare minimum, yet the Devils won the game.
Well, John Cuniff remarking, and I thought we kind of agreed in the first period. We thought the off-ice officials from Boston may have been a little stingy on some of the things, but there's no question, even if they'd given them some of the shots we thought, it still would have only been 15 maybe total for the night. So the Capitals certainly did that great defensive job. The New Jersey Devils made their shots count, though, in the 2-1 victory.
I don't know about stingy. I don't think those guys would like that term. Maybe call it a little bit of New England conservatism.
Fine.
They're the off-ice crew again this season. The crew that normally staffs the game at the Boston Garden. The backup official for this contest is Paul Stewart. Here's Bruce Driver now for New Jersey to start out. Look to the blue line of Washington, and Sheehy has it knocked free by Driver, but the play already offside against the Devils. So we'll have a face-off again out in the neutral zone with this game still scoreless.
Announcing the Subaru Spring Training Program. Fans, now's the time to drive home with Subaru, like the Legacy, with a power-hitting 16-valve, 130-horsepower engine, the options of civilized four-wheel drive and anti-lock brakes. You can save up to $1,500. That baby is out of here. Factory-to-dealer cash incentives on selected models mean you could save up to $1,500 on a Subaru.
Face-off out in neutral ice as the Caps have Cicerelli on the right wing. Over on the left side is Alan May. And the centerman working the draw and taking a spill is Mike Ridley. The Devils control the puck, and here is Weinrich leading it over to Driver. He can't center. Langway gets a stick on it. It comes right in front for Sheehy. Sheehy starts back for Washington. Leads it across the blue line now to Cicerelli. Dino Cicerelli drop past May, a backhand shot, and a save kicked out from in front by Burke. Now here's Morris in the corner. John Morris for the Devils. Back to the point. Sheehy keeps it in. His drive, a blocker save by Burke. Cicerelli held up back there with Bruce Driver and just now getting back to his skates in the Devils zone. The puck cleared back into the Washington end of the ring. Here's Langway to take over. Up the right wing boards for Cicerelli. Cicerelli gets away from Belichick, but Shanahan has the puck. He gives it to Morris. Now John Morris trying to work in front. And Beaupre dives out in front of the goal and just smothers it to stop play.
And the quickness of John Morris forces Rod Langway into a holding call, so the Devils will have their first power play of the evening. Let's head downstairs now and check in with Jeff Rimmer.
Thanks, Al. Let's get everybody caught up to date on the Patrick Division game that is now underway on Long Island. The New York Rangers, leading the series by a game, are up by a goal in the first period, and Hartford leading the Boston Bruins by a game, leading in their game tonight as well, 1-0 in the first. Back upstairs to Mike and Al.
The Hartford Whalers, not only one of the surprises of the playoffs, but have the advantage of playing the Bruins without Raymond Bourque.
I don't know if Neely's playing in that game, but there was talk that he might not be present as well.
I'll tell you, you talk about everybody expecting Calgary at least to get out of the first round, but I think so many people thought that the Boston Bruins would be the team to get in from the Wales Conference, particularly once they made all those deals to load themselves up with the veteran players like Poole and Propp and Christian.
Here's Kasatonov now over to McLean. Back to Kasatonov at the point. Kaprizov has it stolen by Hunter, and Dale Hunter clears the puck all the way down the ice. Rod Langway's penalty still has a minute and a half to go. Stastny works out to center. Kasatonov to McLean, now into the corner for Muller. Good hit there, the puck loose. Rouse throws a check, and the puck cleared out of the zone. Back to Kasatonov in double ice. John Bruce has it taken away. New Jersey's power play continues, but as they work to center again, Hatcher takes over for Washington. And the Caps clear it all the way down. 7:56, the time of the holding call to Langway. Devils 4 power play goals and 20 opportunities so far this series. Scoring 20% of the time. Really only one power play goal and one chance better than the Washington Capitals coming into this game.
Yeah, the Cap penalty killers have been a real strong point of this series.
Sheehy gets tied up in front with Muller. He'll take a penalty. Now the Caps are going to be down by 2 skaters briefly. Here's a centering pass, blocked by Beaupre. And he hangs on now as Hatcher gets tied up right in front of the net and goes after McLean.
The Capitals are going to get another penalty, as Mike pointed out, but they really put themselves under the gun and got themselves into a situation where they needed to take a penalty by not efficiently getting out of the zone. They got a little sloppy with it. It was about to come out. The Devils pick up that turnover and come back in, and Neil Sheehy wrapped up with Muller in front. Then you see the exchange afterwards, and watch as it goes on a moment, you see a little shot to the face of McLean by Kevin Hatcher that was not called. So the New Jersey Devils now will have another power play to work with, but this just is right as the penalty to Langway. It's got a short time left to go on it, so it's a 5-on-3 situation, and we'll see if the Devils are a little more efficient than the Capitals are. You see Neil Sheehy right there grabbing on and twisting Muller to the ice as he's got to come back and recover once that play that looked like to be a Capital clearing play is turned back in around him.
25 seconds left to go on the Langway call. A full 2 minutes to Sheehy. And Miller leans in to work the faceoff, kicks it free. Now back to the point. Here's Weinrich. Into the corner. Back to Morris. Now to the point man driver. Right in front. Beaupre makes the save on Shanahan. Quick one-timer from Brendan Shanahan in the slot area. But Beaupre saw it and made a chest save.
Well, big save by Beaupre, and the Devils do exactly what the Caps didn't. They worked it around the perimeter for a moment, but once that penalty-killing forward comes moving out, look where Shanahan rotates into that open area. He can't get all of the one-timer. He didn't get full wood on it, but nonetheless did come up with a quality chance, something the Capitals were unable to do with their 5-on-3.
In for the draw. Now here's Kevin Hatcher clearing at the length of the ice. Langway's penalty about to expire. Weinrich brings into the Washington zone, and he's hit hard by Kevin Hatcher. Back to the point, Shanahan. Langway's out of the box. The Caps still a man down for a minute and a half. Weinrich without a stick. Tries to kick it further into the Washington zone, but it's cleared by Miller up to the boards to center ice. Steal now by Kelly Miller. Here it comes, short-handed. Back inside the Devils zone. Caps changing up the line, and Miller is alone in the Jersey end. The Devils come back. Weinrich starts it up to center, right side. Offside the call. Morris made the pass, and now goes after Scott Stevens. Hatcher stepping in there as well. Morris made the pass, then skated across the line, instead of getting across the blue line first, and then making his drop pass.
And Morris got hit by Scott Stevens and then responded with almost a spearing motion with his stick into Stevens. That's what gets Stevens irate, and both of them head to the box.
.10:23, the time of the penalty calls. Stevens in there to join Sheehy.
Here the penalty is.
Here the announcement.
New Jersey number 20, John Morris. 2 minutes for slashing.
Washington number 3, Scott Stevens, 2 minutes for cross-checking. Start is 7:10:23.
So right now, 4 Capitals out there. And 5 Devils. Here's a slap shot. Held by Beaupre. And now some more pushing and shoving. Bruce in there as well as Rouse. And Rouse got slapped upside of the head by one of the New Jersey players. I think it once again is John McLean, who's been a real pest in the goal mouth.
Boy, there hasn't been a Devil around that net, either while play is in or after the whistle. It hasn't been belted around by a Capital defenseman and forwards. And now McLean and Rouse head to the box. You'll see the battle here. Rouse gives him a little bit of an elbow and a shot, then another shot after the whistle. McLean didn't want to take that. He's got Drews to contend with, then he responds with a shot to Rouse's head. So this contentious play between both sides continues in the early going here.
McLean gets 2 for roughing, while Bob Rouse gets 2 for cross-checking. Time of the penalty is 10:34. We still have 57 seconds left on the Langway call. So John Conniff's club maintains the power play advantage here. Even though all the other players are in the box, there are still 4 Washington players on the ice and 5 Devils.
And Mike, 3 of the 5 capital defensemen that Terry Murray would use in penalty-killing situations find themselves in the penalty box. So it's Hatcher and Langway now. Calle Johansson rarely gets out in penalty kill spots.
Here's Fetisov now along the sideboards. Throws it into the corner. Stosky checked by Langway. The puck cleared off the glass to the blue line, but not out. Kept in by Kasatonov. Now to Muller. Langway in to tie up his man. That gives Wrigley the puck, and Wrigley clears it the length of the ice. Peter Stosky out to Kasatonov at center. He's inside the Washington zone. Poke check by Drews, but Shanahan leads it along the boards. And now Hatcher slaps it all the way down. Only 10 seconds left on the Sheehy penalty. Here's Kasatonov. Over now to Shanahan. Shanahan from center. Dumps it across the line. Langway throws a hit. The puck in behind the goal for Hatcher. Penalty's over. Sheehy out of the box. And it bounces right past his stick. Going back inside the Devil zone. Kasatonov to pick it up. Long lead pass. Shanahan just lets it go. It would have been offside. So as Johansson gets it, instead it's an icing call. 8 minutes, 11 seconds left to go in this first period. There's still no score between the Caps and the Devils.
Yeah, we just scored. No, I didn't see Kevin get hit. Kev, you okay?
I wind up in the hospital, and Bob gets the winning goal.
I couldn't let Kevin miss the party.
I was having a pretty good time where I was.
Friends deserve the best.
Friendship. Just being there.
The crisp, clean taste of Canada's best beer, Labatt's Blue.
I have to be flat on my back to get Bob to buy me a blue.
Between friends, it's true blue. Labatt's Blue.
Well, both teams have survived power play threats from the other. We've had 2 5-on-3 power plays, 1 on each side, no score. 5 shots total for the Capitals, 3 shots for the Devils. Capital penalty killers, another outstanding job limiting the New Jersey Devils to very few quality scoring chances. All that's paid to power play time.
The draw comes back to the point. Johansson a blast, and Burke makes the stick save. And here's Brooke to lead it out to center. Now dumped across the line by Doug Brown into the Washington zone, and here's Kevin Hatcher back to get it. Brooke chasing it back out to center ice. It gets away from Danico. Leach in to try and steal, but it's cleared to the point. Hatcher keeps it in. Now to Pavanka behind the net. Al May tries to center. That's knocked away from in front of the net by Danico. And the New Jersey Devils clear it back to center ice. Now Johansson fires back inside the Devils' end. Burke plays it along the baseboard to the corner. Centered by Pavanka. Off the stick of May. May hit hard against the corner board. He's down. There's a penalty call coming against New Jersey. And Al May has still not gotten up from a vicious hit in behind the Devils' goal.
And boy, we could be talking about a 5-minute major penalty here for boarding. It happened the other night on Long Island. Troy Millette sending Jeff Norton into the boards in almost a similar sort of play. And Norton is out of the game tonight on Long Island. And Alan May looks like he's severely hurt. And this is going to be an interesting call. Apparently just a 2-minute minor as Maley heads to the penalty box right now.
I'll tell you, they don't come much tougher than Al May. And this check here by Maley shoved his face right into that shelf along the plexiglass.
But when you see it, it's really almost no difference in exactly the same thing Millette did to Norton. One thing you can see, though, that David Maley wasn't grinding his legs, wasn't taking a full run at it. But there's no question about the possible seriousness of the injury. And in that regard, I would think that could qualify as a 5-minute major penalty.
We worried about a facial or head injury, but Stan Wong's concern seems to be with the right shoulder of Alan May. And he's adjusting his head now very carefully, and they also wonder about the neck. And it's possible that this penalty may be upgraded to a major for boarding, and it may be a 5-minute call. And that apparently is what Rob Schick has now indicated. And that that will mean that Maile will be off the ice for 5 minutes.
5-minute major for boarding. Time of the call, 12:34.
A 5-minute Washington power play coming up after this.
At All-Star Dodge, we've been Baltimore's #1 Dodge retail dealer for the past 7 years. Our customers keep coming back again and again because All-Star sells below credit union buying services and sometimes even below fleet prices. All-Star's $500 down cash or trade policy lets just about anybody drive a new Omni, Caravan, Daytona, or Dodge pickup truck right away. And you'll find All-Star's company executive demos discounted as much as 30% right now at All-Star.
Well, the applause you hear in the background for Alan May as he is up on his feet and headed towards the Capitol bench. Still looks shaken up, and there is another look at the penalty. David Maile, a 5-minute major penalty for boarding and the ensuing game misconduct. He is gone for the rest of the night. The Capitals now with a 5-minute power play to open up some sort of lead.
David Maile has not left the ice yet.
And it looks like Alan may be headed off. He's got his stick now, and it looks like he's going to head to the Capitals dressing room. Trainer Stan Wong heads out with him. So obviously, some more serious medical examinations for Alan May, who gets a terrific ovation from this Capitol Center crowd as he heads to the dressing room.
Well, apparently Rob Schick has given a 5-minute major penalty for boarding to Maile, but has not ejected him from the game. With the stick calls, as you often see when there is a very visible evidence of injury, a player is often ejected, and it's an automatic penalty. But in this case, Rob Schick is elected to allow Maile to continue playing in the game, but giving him a major penalty for the boarding. Got a hurt on the outside, not on the inside again. Sure seems like it sometimes. In the corner. Puck sent to the side of the goal. Kasatonov has it worked free by Cicerelli. And now worked over under the sideboards for Mike Ridley. Played out of the zone to center ice. Here's McLean, short-handed for the Devils. Puts to the Washington line to Sunson. Now back to McLean, a backhand shot. And a save by Beaupre.
And I think we may get a penalty on a couple of different people, possibly Hatcher and McLean.
Kevin Hatcher is headed off the ice. I don't see any Devil player headed off at all.
Well, you see McLean gets the step on Hatcher, and Hatcher slashing him to try and slow him down. So the Capitals lose at least 2 minutes of the remaining 4:30 they had on the major penalty to Maile. Another good save by Don Beaupre. John McLean has scored a shorthanded goal in this series already, and there could have been a major break for the New Jersey Devils. Answer that Capital 5-minute power play with a shorthanded goal for the Devils. As it is now, we've got 4-on-4 hockey for the next 2 minutes.
Out-of-town goaltending tonight. Lemlin for Boston against Sidorkovitz for Hartford. The Montreal-Buffalo contest has Darren Pupa against Patrick Roy. Right here it is Don Beaupre against the New Jersey Devils' Sean Burke. It's not announced the Islander Ranger goaltenders yet. Here's an offside call, and we'll have a face-off in neutral ice. 6:44 to go in the first period. New Jersey has 4 shots on goal now, while Washington has 7. The Devils went quite a while in this period without registering any shots on the Washington net.
One thing the Capitals hope is they can keep this man off the board. No goals so far in the 3 games he's played. 3 assists though from Kirk Muller, and Muller always seems to be a guy to get key goals against this Capitals team.
Here's Muller with the puck now for New Jersey. He's the Devils' captain, leads it ahead to Stastny. Now to Eric Weinrich. Weinrich backs up into his own zone. Left side for Driver. Driver out to center ice, now to Muller. Muller gets across the blue line. The pass at the line taken by Weinrich at the side of the net. Beaupre helps it along wide. Now Stevens in to tie up Stastny behind the goal. The puck comes out to Muller. Centering pass, blocked by Beaupre on the shot attempt. And here comes Into the corner of the Devils zone. Up the boards for Druce. And now Stastny brings it back for New Jersey. Stastny sends it back into the Washington zone, and here is Rouse to take it. Bob Rouse for the Capitals. Over to Langway. Up to Sheehy. And he leads it all the way back inside the Devils' end. Now Fetisov back to get it. Leads it ahead for Mark Johnson. Here's Johnson, right side. John Morris to the blue line. Drop past Johnson, and he couldn't get around Courtnall. Hunter taking it on the sideboard. Has it poked back to the corner. Here's Mark Johnson again to take it. Back to Morris. Now all the way to the point for Kasatonov. Kasatonov flipping it back into the corner, and here is Hunter to take the puck. Hook check by Morris, but right to Langway. In 15 seconds, Kevin Hatcher will be back, and the Washington power play will resume. But here's Kasatonov sending it on goal, and Beaupre with a save. Sheehy leads it all the way down the ice back into the Jersey zone. We have 5 minutes to play in the first period. Hatcher's penalty's over. He's back on the ice, and the Capitals are again at full strength. Here comes Sundstrom, a shot. Save Beaupre, rebound, hit him in the face mask, and now the puck sent wide of the Capitals' goal. Beaupre used his face mask to make a save there. Now here's Stevens into the corner. Wrigley in behind the net. Puck played up the boards to the point. Johansson tries to keep it in. Now it's off the stick of Pavanka and all the way down the ice. And Beaupre is again back after with 2 minutes to go in this unlimited scoring opportunity for Washington on the power play. Lead pass to center. Here's Wrigley right side to Ciccarelli. Back to Wrigley in the corner. He centers. Back to Stevens, a shot. And a save by Burke. And he holds on to stop play with 1:46 left to go and the major penalty to Maley. And 4:12 remaining in this scoreless first period.
Well, the Capitals finally got themselves deep into the Devils' zone. Nice diagonal pass back to the point. Scott Stevens let it go over the sliding Danico, right into the chest of Sean Burke. And I'll tell you, Mike, at the other end, you talk about enormous saves. Don Beaupre came up with 2 of them. One, a spectacular save on Driver to keep this game scoreless. Alan May returning to the Capitals bench. And that is the cheer you heard a moment ago. Take a look at what Don Beaupre did. Now watch how Driver shakes himself free right in front. Look at Beaupre sliding over, getting the pads on it, stacking those pads to make the save. That is a big early save.
The puck cleared to the point. Kept in there by Kevin Hatcher. Hatcher over to Tucker, a slap shot. Blocked. Now Danico feeds into the corner. Back to the point for Hatcher. Hatcher to Courtnall. Fakes. Walks in. Centers it. It's loose in front of the net. And the Devils get out of the jam as Danico works it ahead to center ice. He's in across the blue line. And offside is called as Bob Brook was ahead of the play on left wing.
Well, Calle Johansson had cut in from the right point. Jeff Courtnall trying to slide it through all that traffic in front, never made it. And that's allowed the Devils Brook to start up. Capitals with 1:19 left to go in this power play chance, and I just think psychologically they've got to get something. They've had a 5-on-3, a 5-minute major to work with, all kinds of time to take control of this hockey game, and with 3:45 left on the clock in the first period, nothing to show for all those chances. Shots right now even at 8 apiece, and that also is not a good sign. Capitals with just a ton of chances again the other night, and really only getting 9 shots on goal and 9 power plays.
Johansson and McLean push and shove on the wing as they set up for the faceoff. Now Ciccarelli finally brings the draw back from Hunter, who had neutralized his opponent, and Hatcher starts it out to Ciccarelli. Dino holds up in neutral ice, now carries it across the line. He thought Courtnall was out, but Jeff Courtnall, according to linesman Jerry Pateman, was still in the New Jersey zone, and he's offside.
Courtnall looked like he was about to get out, and Fetisov then ran a little interference and kept him inside that Devil zone, forcing the offside. Certainly, you can understand the Capitals looking to try and get this man set up as often as possible with all the goals he has had of late, and certainly with the 6 in this series. But I thought, Mike, down the stretch the other night, the Capitals tried too much to
to pass the puck consistently to Dino Ciccarelli. Not only are the Devils expecting that, but if you think about the goals that Ciccarelli has scored, for the most part, they have come off rebounds, they have come off scrambles, not because he has been set up all alone in front. So the Capitals need to keep shooting the puck at net, where Dino works best at banging up those rebounds.
Here's a play broken up and neutralized by the Devils, and now Bob Brooks starts back into the Washington zone. Kevin Hatcher works it away. Here's Hatcher for the Capitals. Turns in the corner. Now starts out right side to Michael Pivonka. Pivonka ahead to center ice. Gives to Ridley. Ridley across the blue line. Brings it back to the point man, Stevens. Over to Hatcher. He walks in around Brook, but can't find Ciccarelli in the corner. Now it's centered, and Doug Brown winds up and clears it out of his zone. The Devils right away want a line change. Only 25 seconds left in that Maley penalty. Hatcher to the blue line, to Pivonka, walking in. And he's poke check to the corner by Belichick. Back to Ciccarelli, 15 seconds to go in the power play. Here's McLean starting back again for New Jersey. In across the line, drop pass to the point. Sundstrom trying to center it. It's wide of Belichick's stick. Back comes Langway. Penalty's over. Maley's on the ice again for New Jersey. Here's Maley behind the net. Gets away from Bob Joyce. Now McLean hit by Berglund. And Leach walks in. Steve Leach, poke check to the corner by Danico. And it's all the way back to the point for Sheehy. His shot off the skate of Maley. And into the corner again for Joyce. Joyce tied up in the corner. The puck not frozen. Berglund keeps it moving and plays it back to the point for Sheehy. Sheehy lugs it into the corner. It's off the back glass. And over to Leach in the corner. Leach trying to dig it out. Now controls and gives to Berglund. At the side of the Devil net. Played off the backboard. Here's Sheehy. Knocked loose by Sundstrom. Joyce has it taken away, and it's cleared all the way down by Danico. And this would be an icing call if Stevens gets there first. He does not, and play continues. McLean beat him to it and got a skate on the puck. Now it's cleared off the glass by Sheehy out to center ice. Bruce Driver back to the Washington line. Here's Sheehy ahead to Berglund. Left side for Leach. Inside the New Jersey zone. Weinrich ties up Leach against the board. And now Driver comes in to bump May. Alan May back out on the ice, and while Maley is not ejected from the game, might be a little consolation for Maley to remember that while he's in the game, he'll probably have to face Alan May at some other point in this contest. Here's Rouse at the blue line. We're in the final minute of play in the period. Puck cleared up the right wing boards and out to Muller at center ice. Muller across the blue line now, led ahead into the corner. And Al May back to get it, hit by Stastny. Now Pivonka tries to work it loose. It comes to the blue line. A pass over to Driver. Here's Bruce Driver, a shot. Save made by Beaupre. And he covers up with the help of Rouse, who took out Bill Grain right in front of the Washington Capitals goal. The Devils have now taken the lead in shots 9-8. And there's no score with just 31 seconds to play here in the first period. Let's check in downstairs once again with Jeff Rimmer.
Thanks, Mike, and let's get everybody caught up to date on the Washington Post scoreboard. The Rangers now lead the Islanders by a goal, 2-1. In fact, the Islanders are just on the scoreboard. We're going to get a look at that New York Islander goal for Pat Flatley. It is his second goal of the playoffs. Again, bear in mind, Rangers are up 2-0. But here is the first goal for the New York Islanders. Pat Flatley, his second of the playoffs from Volek and McBean. So it is 2-1 now. Islanders trailing not only in the series 2-1, but in tonight's hockey game. Back upstairs now to Mike Forens and Al Koken.
All right, thanks, Jeff. For the two New York Ranger goal scorers, Mullen, who scored a power play just 41 seconds into the contest, and Turcotte picking up a goal with assists from Chris King and Rupp before that Flatley score.
Here's Kevin Hatcher to start out now for Washington. Brings it ahead to center ice. Not much time left in the period. The puck sent to the side of the goal, and Burke keeps it going. But now the defenseman, Kasatonov, bumped right into Sean Burke, his teammate. That dislodges the New Jersey net. And the Capitals are arguing now about the face-off location. They feel that since play was stopped by the Devils, the draw should remain in Jersey ice. And I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Well, you'll see the scramble. Hatcher centering it towards the front of the net. And there's that little collision with the... It really looks like Burke just basically takes it off himself. And
understand, a guy at about 210 pounds, 6 feet 4 inches tall, the dimensions of Sean Burke. Those magnets will give a bump like that. Reminds me of the way Pete Peters always used to play, particularly in the Spectre. He banged that body up against the post to make sure he had that short side sealed, and consistently kept knocking the puck off the magnet. Remember, one game that must have happened 6 or 7 times. That Spectrum crowd went nuts.
15 seconds to go in the period. Hatcher keeps it inside the Jersey end, but Burke is there to glove it. And there'll be another face-off to his right.
Well, the Capitals and Terry Murray must be really upset that they didn't at least challenge Burke more. Hey, it's one thing that Sean Burke stands in your way and you don't get anything past him, but with all the power play time the Capitals had, they at least should have 7, 8 more shots than they have now of their total of 9. And Sean Burke, who had to have a little bit of shakiness in his confidence coming into the game with a 3.55 goals against average off that first game, but a save percentage of .792. The Caps really have not tested him severely in this first period.
Puck cleared off the boards to the blue line, kept in by Stevens. Now Fetisov bounces it ahead. Here's Stastny, a breakaway, but time is going to run out. Hatcher chops his stick away from him just in case. But he hears the horn to end the first period. Shots wind up even between the Caps and the Devils at 9 per team, and there's no score on the scoreboard after 20 minutes of play. Our live exclusive hockey action continues from the Capitol Center after these messages right here on the Home Team Sports Television Network.
We'll open your eyes in April.